everyone. We'd like to welcome you to this new edition of the India InsurTech podcast. Today, we have with us Tejas, who's the founder and CEO of BimaKavach. Hi, Tejas. Welcome to this podcast.
Hi, thanks for having me
We'd
here.
love to get to know you a little bit. So, if you can start with introducing yourself.
So as Prashant mentioned that I'm the founder of BimaKavach, started BK almost 2 years back with one single mission that we want to change how MSME insurance functions in India. We want to revolutionize that. But I come from a background of insurance folks. My family was in insurance for almost 3 generations. And I think that just led me to a place where I thought that it's going to be great building in insurance, and that's how BimaKavach began.
That's fantastic. Wow, 3 generations. And I mean, you have 3 generations working in insurance. You've heard, you've seen, and you've understood a lot of trends about the industry. At this point, we'd like to know from you, what's your view of the market? And perhaps you can also mention which segment you're solving for in this market.
So we are primarily building in the commercial insurance space, specifically focused on the MSMEs of the country, where the entire focus is on revolutionizing the commercial insurance space for the smaller and medium businesses of the Indian economy. Currently, at this point in time, commercial insurance is a 41,000 crores market, which includes LOBs like fire, engineering, liability, marine. And we believe that in the next another 5 to 6 years, another 5 to 6 odd billion will be added into this comprehensively, mostly driven by the formalization of the businesses. If you look at the Udyam data, at this point in the month of May, 2.55 crores are registered entities with the Udyam data, out of which close to 1.5 odd crores would be micro, and the other businesses would be small and medium enterprises. And if you look at it, the people that have access to the insurance at this point in time is very correlational to the credit. So 10% people out of these, let's say 2 to 3 odd crore companies would have access to credit, and then balance 10% of those companies would have actually bought insurances. So looking at just the broad maths around this, close to 80-85% businesses from the MSME sector are either underserved or they have no insurances in principle. And which is where we feel that the premiums, the new lot of premiums are going to come into the picture. Like the larger enterprise already have everything, right? Reliance is not uninsured and L&T is not uninsured, but it's the new age businesses or the age old manufacturing trading businesses which will be buying and which are buying the insurances for the first time. That's going to add another 5 to 6 billion in the GWP pool in the next probably half a decade to 1 decade from now.
Got it. Okay. And then what are you guys innovating and what's your place in this market now?
So I mean, let's understand the persona of this customer first. I mean, probably sitting out of a tier 2 industrial area, generation 2, generation 3 running this business, manufacturing, let's say piston liners or probably plastic bags. These guys have traditionally not bought many insurances, or they come from a background where they feel that insurance is an unnecessary piece, which probably some compliance would drive them to buy for like 1 odd policies. So, and the reason is very valid for them, right? Because pricing, product, and process, nothing has changed for them over the last 30 years. We have been basically, just going back and chipkowfying in them the age-old enterprise solutions and telling that, hey, why are you not buying insurance? Insurers, intermediaries, all are sort of doing that. And then you expect them to buy all of the insurances that probably a Reliance or an L&T would buy. So for us, the first step, I think, that has to start from is that how do you go back for this wider audience and change these 3 things? How do you give them a better product? How do you make the process very seamless and smooth? And it's not just pre-sales process, but also a post-sales process, including claims. And how do you make the value for money come out for them so that they are okay buying these products? And at the heart of it, I feel that data is a huge problem, all of this. Why has nobody digitized underwriting? Why is not a platform-led model? Because insurers, regulator do not have enough data on purchasing behavior, do not have enough data on what product will work, what product has not worked. And nobody has also invested money into solving for this. In fact, there was a Lok Sabha session in which Finance Ministry openly declared that IRDA doesn't maintain any data on the insurances bought by the MSME sector of the country. So we are that behind in terms of, data points. So we believe that it has to all come together where brokers will have to get on the ground. start understanding. That's what we started doing. So our journey was very similar, that we understood what the problem was. It's a tedious process. To change the tedious process, you have to make it more simple. You may have to change proposal forms. You may have to ask like relevant questions. You may have to be very pinpointed with data collection, which will help you to underwrite better, which will help you to understand what products have to be distributed. And then you can take all of this, bundle it into a digital API-led infrastructure and go back in the market and distribute. So this is what we have done. We understood 2 years back what is the problem. We realized that customers want to have like one-stop solution for almost all of their insurance needs. Then we realized that they need value for money. Then we realized that they need a faster process to buy. They can't answer 150 to 100 questions to just get one policy, which is worth probably 30,000, 40,000 bucks. On the same side, insurers had this problem that, hey, we don't have data. How do we underwrite, etc. So we become the bridge in between, where we act like an MGA. We work on collecting data. That's step one. And from here, we'll build more products. We'll innovate in terms of underwriting and distribute through a digital-led model as well. And this is what we are doing.
Got it. Wow. So 3 takeaways from what you said from a learnings perspective. One is that customers are always looking for value money. I think that's a given. They want a faster process to buy it. So better proposal forms, easier sales process. And most customers are looking for an all-in-one solution, in the sense they're looking for one person to serve all their needs in this segment. I also wanted to ask you any other learnings that you'd like to share with us. You've been doing this now for 2 years. Any other key learnings that you have that we can take away from the conversation?
We have told this to all of our insurers as well now, that look, India has started to buy insurance finally. And we are all very slow to innovate on that front. I think that's the biggest key learning for all of us. We have been pleasantly surprised by clients like GAIL, BSNL, subsidiaries of Godrej coming to us through digital channels and consistently buying insurance and repeat purchases whenever a project comes up. So from small guys to the larger enterprises, people do want to go back and have like one-stop solutions for a bunch of their everyday, day-to-day needs. I think that was one of the key learnings. And say, if India is ready to buy insurance as we are, and are we ready as an industry, cater to the mass demands? We are not designed to be doing that. So I think we all have to be ramping up tech infrastructure. We have to ramp up product infrastructure, and products are extremely outdated. I think that needs to be ramped up. But from the customer side, there is a lot of trust deficit. There is a lot of awareness as a problem, and a lot of mis-selling is still happening on the ground through various channels. I think somebody needs to go out there and also solve for all these 3 points. If the insurance sector has to actually work out, all 3 problems, trust, awareness, mis-selling, have to be solved for, and regulators should definitely start looking into it at a very serious, level.
Can you paint for us a canvas of what the future looks like for BimaKavach, and how do you see your company growing in the next 2-3 years? What are you going to be doing, etc.?
Our vision is very simple. We want to see the Indian businesses of the middle market to be insured, and not just buying one policies, but very aptly insured, that they have the relevant de-risking insurance programs set up at their helm, and giving them like a very wide glove experience, which makes them feel like, look, I am still buying from a place which could come in handy at the time whenever the things go south. And a lot of these middle market companies to the smaller enterprises look at insurance as a luxury. I think that's one myth busting that we're doing, one customer at a time, where, hey, look, it's a necessity, it's not expensive, and it's a useful product, and it won't come in handy for you. But if I were just to put a number to it, I think in the next 5 years, our goal is to touch more than 50,000 to 75,000 companies. We are already crossed 2,000 organizations where we are helping them build their insurance infrastructure from scratch.
Wow, that's fantastic. Tejas, it was wonderful chatting with you. I think I personally learned a lot about what you're doing, what BimaKavach is wanting to do. We all wish you the best of luck from the India InsurTech Association, and glad to have you with us.
Thank you, Prashant.